It's Richard Burns. You know where you're at? There are no signs here. So let me tell you, you're at the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. How much you keep that counts. How do you keep what you already have? Two main ingredients, same one as always, nothing's changed. It's discipline and it's consistency. That's it. Those two little ingredients right there, well, I'm calling them little, but they're not little at all. Apparently, it's extremely difficult. It's only 2% of the population that actually achieve just about any goal, not just financial. 2%. Think about that. So if the entire planet, if every person on the entire planet were to come on here and apply the suggestions that they get from this channel, only 2% of the globe will actually follow through. Follow through and achieve financial security. I don't like using that phrase, financial independence. But financial security, yeah, only 2%. Not because of a lack of a skill, not because of a lack of education. It's just those two little things: discipline and consistency. I see it all the time. I'm fiscally conservative. I'm fiscally conservative. If you're from the hood and you're broke, working class, middle class, there's a time in your life, it could be later in your years, it could be early in your years, but there is a time in your life that if you want that financial security, you're going to have to make a sacrifice for a certain period of time. You might have to sacrifice one day in your life. You might have to sacrifice a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Is it important? Apparently it is. One place that's evident is in the Trump case in New York City. I've gone to other channels and I've heard people from our own community talk about the injustice that Trump is going through. I've read comments on those channels where people are talking about how it's all rigged, that the justice system is working against Trump. That it's a two-tier justice system? Okay. First of all, most of these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're listening to some kind of pro-Trump propaganda channels or news or whatever you want to call them, and they're just repeating nonsense. Our community has been suffering the two-tier justice system almost since we set foot on this continent, on this country. We know what a two-tier justice system is like. Trump doesn't have a clue. Trump just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Simple as that. Nobody fabricated anything. In fact, the Department of Justice bent over backwards not to go after the way they would have gone after us. And whatever defense Trump had in the court, our community would never, nobody from our community would have ever been able to afford that type of defense. And even after having that type of defense, even after that, all they needed was one person in that jury to say, I don't know about this. And it would have been a hung jury. It would have been a hung jury. The process of selecting jurors is called the voir dire. And in the voir dire, both the prosecution and the defense has an opportunity to select whoever they want on the jury. Apparently, the ones that the defense selected didn't even have one person, not one person, to create a hung jury. Not one. Okay, so I digress. The bottom line is this. People from our community, they don't have money like that. These charges were out there for years. We would have been arrested in court, condemned, and in prison within 2 months. Are there exceptions? I guess you can use OJ as an exception. But OJ had money. And that's the thing. He had money. Only 2% of the population will do what's necessary to stack up the money to be able to defend themselves in court, provide for their health care, and get the education for themselves and for their children to establish and maintain wealth. It's just 2%. Again, it's got nothing to do with any special capability. It's got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. If you want to start yourself on your path to becoming financially secure, wealthy, whatever you want to call it,
Customer 43,
you just need 2 little words.
please proceed to shower 4.
Discipline and consistency. That's it. Now for tomorrow being Whip It Out Wednesday, I'm going to include another account, an account that got started 11 weeks ago, roughly 11 weeks ago. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. That's CJ's portfolio. So we're gonna work with AJ's portfolio as we always have, and we're gonna work with CJ's portfolio now. CJ's more aggressive than AJ, but we're gonna monitor that. Gonna monitor the progress of CJ's portfolio.
Customer 33, your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 4.
And see how that goes. I had some news, but I'll cover it again in another video. I got some news about Tesla. Things are not looking good for Tesla. And things are not looking good for Elon Musk either. Elon Musk is being sued by his shareholders from Tesla for insider trading. Not good. I'll keep you guys up to date. And by the way, oil is back down to the low 70s. That means that either supply increased and demand stayed the same, or the supply remained the same and the demand decreased. One or the other, but the price is going down. So there'll be less, what do you call that? Less inflation, or less to worry about inflation. It's been holding steady, and that's not a bad thing. But we'll talk more tomorrow on Whip It Out Wednesday. Kitty, take over.
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda, işler
Let's go!